right, shower is completed. That's not okay.
Oh, I just saw the gnat again.
That's not okay, in my opinion. Oh! I've ordered takeout. Yes, I have. I'm using a literal butter knife right now.
Tried my first bite of food. It dribbled on me a little bit.
One day I will be a plus size influencer who has died. That is crazy.
This video is so raw, you guys. Fuck.
Damn, what a real bitch is that?
Hey there, YouTube. I'm surprisingly back here with Amberlynn because she decided to upload a video called Raglan Bleed. Amber, that's copyrighted. You owe Salty Crab proceeds from this video. Let's get into it.
Okay, you guys, so I actually just got out of the shower and I wasn't gonna do this. This was not gonna be something that I was gonna do. And now that I have like, a whole YouTube schedule going, I don't know where this would fit in
What's
my
the schedule?
I want to get this out like now. So I don't normally
She must have mentioned it in the live stream. I haven't finished going through it yet.
do reactions to reaction channels, but I feel like I'm done like zipping my lip, you know? And when it comes to this topic, it's
But you're not good at this.
Obviously, I had cancer. It was traumatizing. I genuinely thought I was gonna die. I had to do invasive surgery at over 500 pounds because of my cancer. So for another YouTuber to create—
Amber, stop trying to present this as something that it's not. She didn't make fun of your cancer. You used to bleed in the Kentucky era before you claimed that you had cancer when you were with Destiny at her mom's house. So you can't claim that you've never free bled. You used to free bleed. You used to have infrequent periods during the Crystal era. Remember? Remember that? When it would come for a couple of weeks and stay and then go away for a few months? Remember that?
Create a nickname, Raglan Bleed, while already they're hypocritical, they're biased. I have made it very clear on my Instagram.
They're really not. Salty Crab is one of the nicest reactors. And overall, she's very polite. She doesn't like to speculate about Amber. She gives her the benefit of the doubt. All of these things. Amber's just butthurt from Beck and Destiny making bank and getting so many views. Let's see how many they have now. 175k views. Damn. Damn. Amber, you could never.
That is fucked up. I've also made it very clear during public live streams. And
look at her ratio. Look at this. Even when she's actively trying to be a victim. And it's so dumb.
During my members only live streams. And this YouTuber just keeps going back and forth with me, trying to like twist the narrative of why they, you know, named me Raglan Bleed when it's very obvious why they did it. And they're trying so hard to like turn it.
Salty's not going back and forth with you. She stated clearly why.
Into like an okay nickname. So my friend sent me this message that you are seeing here.
Your friend?
And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna react to this first 5 minutes.
Let's read the message up here. Right through it all. I'm just learning about who Salty Crab is, and I just watched her new video, and the first 5 minutes is still her talking about your... She was not talking about her cancer. She mentioned that she had cancer, but it was not the primary reason that she was free bleeding. She was bleeding irregularly before she ever had cancer. So don't let her delude you. You're absolutely right when you say, these people see you as a character. I can't imagine having my life, my love life, family, health, and private conversations dissected and shown to the world, but they're only making you stronger and they hate to see it. You're not stronger. You're literally weak. You're folding and making a whole video when you said you were taking a break for your mental health.
Minutes, because I want to know what they say, so let's do it. I want to be able to respond.
Let's do it.
This YouTuber does not show their face because they're too scared. So
Amber, people have lives. You can't relate. You put everything online, including your panties. Remember? And she filmed the blood puddle that she left on the floor. She filmed it. And she showed pictures of her, like, all of the gross stuff. She showed that for money. Amberlynn did. She showed it.
all you need to hear is their voice. Let's do it.
Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. Happy Thursday. And before
Happy
we get
Thursday.
started today, I just want to talk a little bit about what happened last night, or should I say very early this morning.
Amberlynn looks like she likes her voice, but she doesn't want to like how she's like gonna get into the video. It really does seem like she liked salty crab, except that she doesn't like people talking about her cancer.
If you missed it, Amberlynn went live for about an hour and a half.
You don't have
And
a
it was pretty
monopoly on
much
cancer,
just
Amber.
a part two to the members only stream she did because it was almost exactly the same thing. She was, in my opinion, very manic. She was crying.
Okay, so mental health shaming.
One
Okay, so no. She was literally describing your mental state as you appeared to her because you were frantic in the clips that she showed. You were literally moving around faster than normal, doing things erratically, which is kind of fitting the bill of manic, and then being focused on things that you're not regularly focused on. You said that. You said that.
1 second laughing, the next second acting very just above it all while
I'm telling you, my moods genuinely are bouncing back and forth. Like, 1 minute I am crying, 1 minute I'm laughing, 1 minute I'm doing both at the same time. 1 minute I feel despair, 1 minute I feel hopeful. It is what it is. That's where I'm currently at right now with my mental health.
still
That's because you don't get therapy and you refuse to take medicine.
having to get digs in on people. Most of the things that she said was just her repeating what she said in the member stream. In my opinion,
A lot of people don't get to see, so I'm glad that I had that public live stream for people.
But your private streams are for your members. The content is not for the public, Amber. Remember, that's the whole purpose of you charging people $10 a month.
Because some people can't pay for my members only.
I felt like she was
Oh my
doing
God.
that. She did the stream because she kind of wanted to get the attention off of Beck and Destiny's video from
Definitely not. Beck and Destiny's video genuinely sucked. Like, okay, screenshots from 9 years ago.
It sucked so bad to 175,000 views. It sucked that bad. Amberlynn hasn't gotten a video with that many views in years.
I'm sorry I was hurt. I'm sorry I was desperate for attention.
earlier yesterday. She wanted to make everybody talk about her and what happened in the live stream. But honestly, like I said, it was just a repeat of the other night. Nothing really
And yet you watched it, didn't you?
new came out
To figure out what was in your freaking stream. Why are you such a pissy little bitch?
of the stream. And I don't think I'm going to cover it because as I was
Don't.
watching it, nothing really stood out to me. She was mostly just reading the nice comments people were leaving.
I think I know why they're actually talking about this, because in that live stream, I straight up asked Salty Crab a question, and I think they might be answering it right now. So I'm actually glad that I'm reacting to this. So let's hear the answer.
She was ranting about everybody who she doesn't like, crying over like, girl, we saw it all before, and it was more entertaining in the member stream. But I do want to address one thing, and like I said before, I'm not going to do a back and forth with Amberlynn.
But yet you are.
There's really no point to it. There's nothing
But yet you are.
I can say to her that's going to make her just
You can tell Amberlynn is a child. If you're in a relationship with her, this is what you have to deal with. Imagine every day. But you are. But you are. But you are. Imagine that.
all of a sudden be like, oh my gosh, you're right. I apologize.
Crazy.
Because you're not.
To
Hold
anyone,
on.
Her just all of a sudden be like, oh my gosh, you're right. I apologize to anyone.
I can't wait. I hope that Beck and Destiny address this video because I would imagine that this is exactly the person they have to deal with.
Honey buns, why would I apologize to you? Like, there's nothing to apologize to you for.
She's going to think she's right about everything until the end of
I'm not right about everything at all.
time. Even the things that
And yet you won't tell anybody what the details are of what you've done wrong. Even to specific people, you refuse. That's the problem with you. You don't think that you've done anything wrong, and you have a little smirk on your face the whole time.
she admits she did wrong, she has a reason for it or an excuse. And it's usually blaming some
I bet you're not perfect at all. I bet you.
Amber, you already just said in the live stream that you want to stop deflecting when you take accountability. That's what she's talking about. And now you're doing that right now. You're saying, I bet you're not all perfect because you can't take the criticism in the moment. That's
You
the
made your fair
problem
share
and
of
why you'll
mistakes.
never grow.
So it's like these people who want to like point their finger and be like, "You're not perfect." Well,
Bro,
you have several
that's what
fingers
you just
pointed back at
said.
you, because neither are you.
Oh my
else
god.
or her BPD. But she
Oh my
did
god.
Oh, do you hear the mocking of her BPD? More mental health shaming.
It's because you say it in a sing-song voice. It becomes trivial because you don't seek help at all. Never. You refuse any meaningful regimen that could change your life, including getting a real job that would give you a structured, outside, rigid reason to exist. But you won't.
Like, when does it end?
Did ask me personally to tell her why in my video from almost a week ago, Amber, like you're still going on about it, but
And you still go on about things that happened years and years ago just because you need something to talk about because your whole channel is monetized based on talking about me. So yeah, I am going to talk about something that happened a week ago that genuinely hurt my feelings and my jaw was on the floor because I was like, making a joke out of my cancer is not okay.
she wanted me to talk about or tell her why I called that character Raglan Bleed. Why did I use the word bleed? First of all, it was a stupid joke.
It's not a stupid joke. So if
It actually is a stupid joke because you have not just started bleeding from your cancer when you got it. You had been bleeding 4 years all over people's shit. You. You were. You did that.
you say something that offends someone and it genuinely hurts their feelings, you apologize, right? Isn't that what you're trying to teach your audience, supposedly?
It's supposedly, not supposedly, Miss Writer Readerlyn.
Do it then. Or do you have too much ego, too much pride? Afraid your audience is
Bro,
going to get mad
what
at
the
you.
fuck?
It was a silly joke. I wanted a word
What
that
the
Not a silly
actual
joke.
fuck?
rhymed with your last name, so I used
The look on her face when she says all this shit. It's crazy. It's literally, I can imagine why Beck says that if Amber was more mobile when they were together, they would have been in physical danger. I can see it. I can see it right there. She's ready to get off of the couch and smack somebody if she could.
the word
There's a lot of words that rhyme with read. I mean, I can think of one right now. Feed. That'd be
Greed. Greed. Huh. Huh. Rage and greed.
a lot more funnier than bleed.
bleed. But also, the joke was not about your cancer as
Yes, it was.
much as you try and say that it was. What
It
was
really wasn't.
about was your laziness. The fact that you made the choice to not seek medical treatment when you knew that you should.
So, first of all,
Amberlynn, first of all, Amberlynn never went to a gynecologist until she had cancer. Let that sink in. She was, I believe, 29 or 30. Let that sink in. Never been to a gynecologist.
one of the very first things that I did when I was diagnosed with cancer, because I was told to do this, was join forums of other people who have the same cancer as me. And in doing that, I realized we all had one thing in common. 95% of us waited and waited and waited. We had these
Those other people went to the fucking doctor, I'm sure. I'm sure they had their regular gynecologist appointments. That doesn't sound normal.
symptoms, and we just waited months, or some of us waited years. Some people waited even longer than me to see a gynecologist. And there is multiple reasons for that. Fear, embarrassment, feeling ashamed, anxiety. Some of us then begin to believe, like, okay, maybe actually these symptoms are normal, or actually it's really not that big of a deal. I did go to the doctor. I actually went to the ER a few times. And every single time I went, they told me I had all this blood and I had the pain in my back and it was due to a UTI or it was due to a bladder infection and all of these things, but that wasn't the case. Should I have gone to a gynecologist sooner?
You were going to the emergency room. You were not seeing a regular primary care doctor. You were not seeing a gynecologist. You're a liar and you need mental help. You need to be sanctioned.
Sure. Does that make me lazy? Fuck no. Does that make anyone else who has also had uterine cancer and they waited a really long time to be
This woman is a danger to other people as well. I can see it. It's pretty clear because of the way that she's so arrogant and aggressive. She thinks that she can never be wrong. Everybody should just accept what she says, and if you ever contradict her, she will do this. She will treat you like a hostile enemy, and then she'll do everything she can do to make everybody else try and hate you, except everybody's already lost faith in her, so it doesn't work. If she still had a following that was big enough and liked her, they would turn on Salty because it happens all the time on the internet.
seen until they were diagnosed, does that make them lazy? No. Do they deserve to have a nickname like that? No.
because you knew that.
Okay, your nickname from me is Rage and Greed. Rage and Greed.
Oh well, someone else will just come and clean up this mess for me.
Clean up this mess?
And when I say that you expected everyone to clean things up around you, you know exactly what I mean.
If you're talking about my blood, I made sure that that was nowhere. There was blood nowhere. Did you guys ever
You filmed it. You filmed it.
remember that mattress that was out in the living room? That was one of the reasons it was in the living room, because I was scared to get blood anywhere. I never got it
Beck's the one who had to drag the mattress. You didn't do it.
anywhere. If I wasn't wearing a pad, I was wearing a rag. I was very anal about that
I thought you said you didn't wear tampons or pads, and that's why you had to use the rags
because it was embarrassing. Like, I
and
was always
towels.
bleeding. Sometimes it was heavier than other times, but it was genuinely an awful experience and it was very embarrassing. I never made Beck do it. Who else was there? Oh, are you speaking about my roommates? Because I had roommates? Hell no, that is so embarrassing. That was 2 guys. Like, are you joking? I handled all of that.
Amber, it's not embarrassing if you have a period, especially for gay dudes. They should be more understanding. But, like, honestly, you make it weird. You've always been weird. Whenever she went to like the grocery store with Crystal and Crystal was getting tampons, she would be like, "Ew, Crystal's getting tampons. I don't use those. I'm not like that. I'm better." And then she would never even really get pads. We only saw it a couple of times in the retro reactions that the ankle did, and he went through everything.
That by myself. Just because I was having all these symptoms, it didn't make me a selfish or disrespectful person. I wasn't gonna sit there and make a mess. Like, what? The fact that you're even insinuating that.
And Amber is really irritated that people understand her history and can apply it to her actions. We see her completing the cycles over and over again, and yet she expects everybody to believe that she does differently.
Is hectic. And that's for a lack of a better word.
You're the one who said you had to use rags instead of using feminine products. But who washed those rags, Amber? Who
Me. What?
Beck said they did, and she knows it.
changed those rags, Amber?
Me? What is happening? So you called me Raglan Bleed because you're assuming that Beck washed my rags.
Amber, you need to catch up. You really need to catch up.
I genuinely think this person needs help. Like, more help than me. Like, I admit I need help, but so do you. What?
Amber, who probably had to scrub those rags out in the
No one scrubbed a rag in a sink because of my cancer symptoms. That never happened.
sink, Amber. Bet it wasn't you, and you were just fine with
It was nobody.
them having to do it day after day,
It was nobody.
week after week, month after month, year after year. You intentionally did not go to the doctor.
I didn't intentionally not go to the doctor.
Yes, you did. You really did. If you only choose to go to the emergency room, who does not keep a record of your health, what do you think you're doing? You didn't see a primary care doctor, you didn't see a gynecologist until you already were diagnosed with cancer. What is wrong with you?
For that, when other times you would go to the ER.
Amberlynn is an embarrassment to people who have survived cancer and people who have lost people to cancer because she disrespects every single one of us with this bullshit.
Or cellulitis.
Yes, because cellulitis is an infection that if it gets in your blood, you can die. So yeah, I did go to the ER for that. So I can be on antibiotics because that's the only way that cellulitis can go.
And like I said, ER, the ER is not a doctor. They are for triage. They are to stop you from dying. It's not a doctor like a normal procedure, Amber. You act like it's the normal thing to do to only go to the emergency room, but you neglected your health. You did. You did that.
Away. So I'm sorry.
Or the time that you needed stitches in your hand.
Yes, I literally.
But
still
I
have
need to eat first.
Sure. But yes, I needed stitches. I'm sorry. I stabbed myself in the hand with a knife.
This wasn't a case where you had a fear of the doctor.
This is genuinely like you invalidating my experience. But you know what? I don't expect anything less.
Oh,
anything
my
more from you.
life,
Had
my
no problem going to
emotions,
the
they're
ER. But in
valid.
this situation, you decided to ignore it.
They're
You
not
even
valid,
admitted
Amber.
that. You
Not
took
when
an
you hurt
online
people.
quiz to see
And
what
you're
was wrong,
changing
rather
history.
than seeing a doctor. And even then, when the quiz told you what was probably wrong, it still took you another month before you went to the doctor.
Yeah, out of fear. And I also kept lying to myself because my whole life, like,
She just said that she didn't delay going to the doctor. And yet she just said, yes, I did wait a month after I already knew that I probably had cancer and that I should seek help. Jesus Christ. Nothing will help her. Nothing.
Even in high school, I had irregular periods. Doctors always told me it was because
See?
of my weight.
See? I told you. Irregular, heavy bleeding. Heavy. Like, would not stop for like a week or two. Heavy. In the crystal era.
Like
On
when you're
camera.
really overweight and when you're really underweight, your periods are very irregular. So I did keep lying to myself. I was like, this is happening because of your weight. So the more I lied to myself, the more I made it seem like, oh, it's just because of my weight. So it still doesn't give you the right to make fun of the situation.
You see, she thinks that she always has a reason or an excuse, and she's so smug about it. But you have to keep pivoting every single time somebody shuts down your line of reasoning. It's pathetic.
And when you did finally go to the doctor, you took pictures of your underwear.
That's what I
and
said.
the crotch
That's
of
what I
your
said.
pants.
I did. Actually, it was Beck who took those pictures.
And you uploaded it to the internet. You see, she always thinks she's winning something. Oh my God. It's so frustrating to have to interact with people like this because you know you're nailing them down on facts. And so they have to switch and ignore the context, ignore everything that you're saying to them, and still look like this in your face.
We were absolutely shocked with how much blood I was losing. Like, I was losing so much blood, and that was only the beginning of it, like the pictures that we did take, because then it got worse and worse. At that point, I was having to be rushed into an emergency D&C. I was losing so much blood that, like,
That I just wanted to film it for money.
could have died. Yes, Beck had their phone, and they were taking pictures because it was genuinely so shocking.
And you uploaded it to the internet for money.
And I remember Beck was texting my mom and like keeping my mom updated. And during that, Beck sent those photos to my mom because it's like when you're sitting there and you're like, yeah, Amberlynn is like gushing blood. You know, you imagine something, but you don't imagine like how bad it actually was.
And the floor and all the blood everywhere, and you put them on Snapchat for your viewers to see.
Yes, I did put them on Snapchat. So this
See?
was during the time where
She uploaded to her viewers. She wants to put the onus on Beck, but Beck didn't upload it to your viewers.
I was like,
You
I couldn't
fucking
believe that people think
freak.
I am lying about cancer. And it was quite a few people. Like when Nicocado Avocado uploaded
Jesus
that video
Christ.
insinuating that I lied about cancer, like I was being harassed more than ever. And like it made my mental health so bad. I ended up filming a whole video, like bawling my eyes out. Like I showed my actual medical paperwork, which was really embarrassing. And in that same like impulsive state of mind, I ended up posting those pictures on Snapchat as a way to be like, I did go through
You're a fucking freak.
this. This is exactly what happened to me. Do I regret doing that? No. But it is very pathetic that I even had to do that, that it actually
You
got
didn't.
to that
You didn't.
level, that I had to show something so private. It honestly feels demeaning. And this person right here is like making fun of me. because I did
No,
that.
you're
That's really,
demeaning
really sad.
yourself
See,
for money.
You have a problem with me making a
And
silly
attention.
joke using the word bleed?
They don't have anything to do with each other.
Really, Amber? It's also come out that you ruin people's personal items
Because what?
because of the bleeding.
I never ruined anyone's personal items because of the bleeding. Nothing. At all. Zero. Zippo. Nada.
You made your ex drag a mattress in and out of the living room for you to sit on it so you wouldn't make a mess.
Yes,
That
I
is
did.
actually the truth. I would have done it for Beck. When you're in a relationship and
Bullshit.
you think that you love the person,
Amber, you were unwilling to carry groceries and to help people. Fuck you.
it's supposed to be a safe, comforting, caring environment.
Oh my
Think for 2
God.
seconds. I'm pretty sure you would have dragged the mattress into the living room as well if you wanted to hang out with your partner.
Always deflecting to somebody else. Well, they, well, everybody, well, a lot of people.
And you knew what they were experiencing. I think when
Fucking
people
idiot.
imagine my bleeding, I think they're imagining like Carrie. I don't know if you guys have ever seen that movie. It wasn't like that until I was rushed to the ER. Then it was very much like that. But on every day, like an everyday basis, it wasn't like that. I did not get blood anywhere. So let me keep hearing why you're making fun of my cancer. Let's keep going with your excuse because still, I don't get it.
And did you do anything about that? Did you try and get it looked at for at least
I know what the title for this is going to be. For the title of my reaction is going to be. I got you, Amber.
2 years?
Like I said, I went to the ER for it and I went to the doctor and they sent me home with a UTI and antibiotics.
No, because you thought, well, someone else will clean it up. I don't feel like
No one cleaned up anything. There was nothing to clean up.
going, but somehow that's my fault for using a word, for saying the word bleed.
You are so dense if you actually think that I'm upset because you used the word. You're making fun of me. You're making fun of an experience that altered my whole life.
Really. And before you fix your mouth to call me an ableist again
You are.
and try and say that your medical issues were due to your size,
They are.
you sure had no problem getting to Lexington 20.
What? During that era of my life, I went to Lexington maybe once. I'm finding it hard to understand, like, what that has
That's because maybe your memory isn't as good as the video record you left up. Maybe you should check back and learn a little bit about yourself.
to do with you making fun of my cancer. Like, you're reaching so far that I am in fear you're going to pull a muscle. So calm down, please.
7 times to go to the Cheesecake Factory. So how was there a problem getting to the doctor? Maybe if the gynecologist would have served orange chicken, you would have gotten checked out sooner. But
There it is. You're ableist, girl. Just admit it. You're
Jesus
fatphobic.
Christ.
You're biased. You lack empathy and sympathy, and you can't admit when you're wrong.
that's all you're getting from me, Amber. Now.
Rules for me, but not for thee.
Wait, that was it? What the fuck?
And you can't admit when you're wrong.
That's all you're getting from me, Amber. Now.
Rules for me, but not for thee.
Wow. She heard the reaction channel saying that about her, and she's now reflecting it back at us. That's stupid. Let's go through the comments. Pookie. Pookie. Remember when you recorded TikToks in the car whilst Beck picked out a headstone? You are rotten. Respect Beck's name. Those messages to Destiny were wild, girl. You hoped a baby wouldn't be born so you could go get groceries. Thanks for clearing that up. So you washed your blood rags. Beck washed your scat rags. Got it. Oh my god. Lol, someone is mad at Salty Crab. He is getting 100k Really? Really? 420, 420, 420. But seriously? Good job, girl. With all this energy, Ambi, you could have lost 30 pounds this month. Oh my god. Eric's voice. No one cares. She's always insufferable, but I think this might be one of the worst for me. I agree. This was really, really just her ego being hurt and being so upset that everybody understands exactly who she is. Stop pretending you shower. There's no way you could do it yourself. Watched enough of TLC's My 600 Pound Life to know it. Yeah, she'd probably have difficulty unless she has like a mounted stick to rub herself against. That sounds nasty. Ew. The shelf projection goes hard. You lack empathy, sympathy, and you can't admit when you're wrong. Yup. Yup. You're so insecure, Amber. This was really hard to listen to without laughing. It was really, really difficult because I just got mad. This is so stupid. This is somebody who will never accept any responsibility for what they know that they are responsible for. They will always find a reason for why there's somebody else who was in this situation who really is actually responsible. And she's never in charge of her own life. You had cancer and were still being an abusive, bullying monster. Evil people get cancer too, Amber. Right? Right? That part. That part. One more. Wait, actually, let's read. You proving Salty Crab's point over and over again. Exactly. Absolute cinema. Perfect. Perfection. It was like a collaboration. Like, you couldn't have asked for a better performance from Amber. You're not a victim. When will you lie in bed that you've made? Let's go all the way down. Mm. This is the perfect one. Victim cards. Get your victim cards here before Amber buys them all. I love that. I love that. If you liked this video, like and subscribe and leave a card. And obviously go watch Salted Crab's videos because she's great. I'll leave her latest video linked in my description. Well, talk to you later. Bye. Actually, I'm gonna do the final editing for the first part of the Amberlynn live stream, and that should be up later today. Bye.